My question to you is, are you against unnecessary violence?
Unnecessary violence?
Yes.
What do you define as violence?
Violence could be many things. I'd say stabbing in the throat.
Yeah, okay, but is that compared to the animal?
Sorry?
For example, violence, obviously, human beings is different from an animal. I believe even animals should not be treated in a certain way, yeah? Because we know that the Prophet ﷺ told us, the Prophet, peace be upon him, I'm a Muslim, yeah? He told us that there was a woman who tortured a cat, yeah? And because of her action, she was doomed to hellfire.
You see that as wrong?
Yes.
So why is that wrong?
No, that's wrong, because
why?
Because why are you torturing an animal? For what reason?
So because it's unnecessary?
No, it's not that. Like, what's the purpose? Because like we say, for example, slaughtering an animal, it's not, I don't see that as violence, because there's a necessity for it,
but there isn't.
Which you believe it's not, yeah? You can tell me, okay, I can go and get that protein from God knows how many other places, but I can say to you, but I can get it from just that one meat instead of going to a different places, yeah?
Okay.
So you can say, okay, to get the same
So
protein,
it's unnecessary then?
I believe, look, would I die without it? I don't think so. When you slaughter an animal, in Islam, you should move away from the other animals. So the other animals don't see it.
But the definition of humane is to show compassion or benevolence. So how do we compassionately kill an animal for an unnecessary reason?
No, like I said to you before, I believe there is a kind of a necessary need. Not absolutely necessary. Like,
but it's a black or white. It's there is or there isn't.
No, not really. You can't give it a matter of like black and white. You're not allowed to torture an animal, yeah? So for example, to slit the throat, yeah? Firstly, that's when we are told to sharpen the knife, yeah?
I got a dog in front of you.
Yes.
And I get a knife out and I say, this knife is very sharp.
Yes.
And I try and slit the dog's throat.
What's the purpose?
It gives me pleasure.
No, you're crazy.
Taste pleasure.
No, it's crazy.
Taste pleasure.
You're crazy.
I like the taste of the meat.
I'll call the police. Can I get the police officer for this man?
No, but why do people eat meat? It's for the taste pleasure.
No, there's a variety of reasons. Obviously, we have to survive.
That's not why. We're not doing it for survival.
No. But do you affirm that, for example, our ancestors, yeah?
Yeah.
It wasn't easy, like get apple.
Oh, sure. They may have had a necessity.
So what that means is now you're saying that in today's age we don't need it.
Yes.
That's subjective. But our ancestors did need it to survive. So you wouldn't be here today if you didn't eat meat.
You can find a context, right, where it would be ethical. Our ancestors needed to survive, so therefore it was ethical then. That doesn't make it ethical in this context. In the same sense, killing another human can be justified in some contexts. In self-defense, violence can be justified. That doesn't justify it in the context where I don't need to.
Do you know there are some recent studies also show that plants have, they can sense pain as well?
There's no research there's no evidence that plants can feel pain.
There is some. I'll try to find it for you, but there is some evidence towards it. Would you agree that they are living? Would you say they're not living?
They're living.
Okay, so then the point that comes to is this year, is that I can come and use the same argument and be like, look, for example, the tomato, or for example, and you don't know, if, let's say, argument's sake, if science finds out that these tomatoes or these things actually feel pain, what does one do?
The thing is, the animals we eat, we are feeding with plants. So there are more plant deaths because we eat the animals. So we'd actually be using far less plants if you went vegan.
No, okay, good, very, very good point. But the issue with my point is this, is that to me, we live in a system where there's laws.
Yeah.
So if those laws are in place, I can say, you know what, maybe I'm stepping on some kind of living particles here. Let me not move. Let me not do nothing. Then the reality kicks in. Animals are going to be slaughtered to be eaten. It's going to happen. Yeah.
Doesn't have to.
I know, but it's going to happen. I think we should combat animal cruelty, because this is firstly the first one we can argue with, and we can debate with the next necessity. But I like.
How do you define cruelty? How do you define that?
I personally, if you ask me, I would say being harsh to any living being unnecessarily. Right. No, that's even wrong, because
I would include stabbing them in the throat for a necessary reason in that definition.
Stabbing is different to cutting.
Okay, cutting them in the throat for a necessary reason.
Stabbing is.
Okay, so how would you do it? You just cut.
No. You have to, because the whole point behind it, we have a method of doing it. Yeah, the animal needs to be moved away from the other animals because they don't want to see it. It's
would you accept this in a human context?
No.
Why?
Because why do I need to cut a human being? For what reason?
Maybe because you like the way they taste.
No, I prefer chicken. What I'm coming back to is the reality that we live in.
Yeah, and you brought up the point that you could be hurting animals or creatures all the time without knowing.
Yeah, so then what do you do?
But the difference here is intent. So if you accidentally walk on an insect, that's different morally to purposefully slitting someone's throat.
I understand where you're coming from. Don't get me wrong. I understand where you're coming from. You seem like someone that's caring. Yeah, you've come here, you've done this. Why? Because you care for the animals. We care for the animals as well. We're just saying, can we have a middle ground? Can we have a middle understanding where let's start off with stopping cruelty to animals, because then once we become the obstacle, then at least there's less animal suffering, and then we can talk about humane ways of, because we're not going to stop them. At least
we can stop them.
How? Tell me how. Let's. I'm going to join them.
Because it's supply and demand. The more we buy, the more they create.
Well, that's what I'm saying. As human beings, we're greedy people.
But you can stop your impact. You could leave here today and never exploit animals again by picking up vegan sausages rather than pig sausages.
No, I love Griggs vegan sausage.
Yeah, amazing, right? It's a pound.
Sponsor this video. I love it. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So I can't have pork sausages.
Of course, yeah. So why would we exploit animals when we have that clear alternative?
Look, it comes back to reality. These people, like, it's good.
But you need to morally justify the behaviour of hurting animals.
No, 100%. But then again, I don't believe that doing it in a humane way, I believe it doesn't hurt an animal. I believe if you sharpen a knife and do it as fast as possible.
If I was going to kill someone now, so I killed someone of your friends, and you said, what are you doing?
Don't kill them.
I won't. But hypothetically, and I said, I used a sharp knife, they didn't feel a thing, would that make it ethical?
No, because you're taking a human life for no reason, but just to
taste.
Well, you can say taste, but what's the purpose of killing them?
Because I like the way they taste, that's the reason I'm doing it.
No, but
yes.
Still, again.
So I just love the way they taste, I slit a throat, eat them.
Okay, I would say it's not justified because a human and animal is not the same.
Okay, but what's the difference that justifies that difference in treatment?
Of course, he's a human being, yeah? He has faculties that an animal doesn't.
Which faculties?
Okay, no, his emotions, he's got, well, you can say animals have families as well, etc. But we're more intelligent.
Okay, but do you think we should assign moral value based on intelligence? So if you're more intelligent than me, should you be treated better than me?
Sorry, what?
If you're more intelligent than me, should you be treated better than me?
No, I'm saying as human beings, we are not the same as animals.
Of course, I agree, but you're not the same as me either.
To kill a human being, I wouldn't say it's the same as killing an animal.
And you don't need to. You don't need to value the animal to the same value as human in order not to enslave them. You just need to believe that the animal is worth more than your taste pleasure.
No, it's not just about taste, it's about survival as well.
It's not, because right, do you admit that you could leave here today and be vegan?
Yeah, maybe.
So it's not survival?
No, it can be.
But for you?
No, it depends. Like, how am I going to get, like, for example, what am I going to eat? Can I afford it?
The cheapest foods in the supermarket, rice, beans, lentils, vegetables, it's all vegan. It's all vegan.
The vegan is quite expensive.
No. It can be, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is that there's a whole commitment behind it. Yeah? But what I'm saying is that it goes back to, again, to have a fine balance. We should not go from one extreme to another. I'm not coming telling you that you have to be, to be a Muslim, you have to eat meat. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, look, you can be a vegan Muslim.
Well, that's because my choice of being a vegan doesn't have a victim, or as yours does. Someone's dying for you.
I can say that. For example, if I opened up and did some research, I believe that plants do have...
But you're killing more plants than me by consuming animals.
No, the animals that we're eating is killing more plants. So then it goes back to animals.
They're only there because we're feeding them.
It will be oppression for me to go and force my way of life to other people. We can reduce it. We can say, look, exploitation, you don't have to have chicken every day, you don't have to have beef every day, yeah? You shouldn't. The Prophet ﷺ never did that, yeah, as to Muslim. So we can limit it to a certain amount and work our way down to lowering animal cruelty.
But the thing is with forcing people to do things, we should force people to do certain things. Or I guess the better way of putting it is force people not to do certain things. So we force people not to murder. We try to force people not to abuse children.
Yes.
We try to force people not to abuse dogs or kill dogs. And I think we should also extend chickens, pigs and cows and force people not to exploit and kill them as well.
Yes, we should force to minimize unnecessary killing of animals.
There we go, so we agree.
Yes.
So if you were to establish that you could live healthy for the rest of your life as a vegan, you would do it?
I would do it, but I would not force someone
Okay, that's fine, I can live with that. We're going to talk to you. Have a look at that card.
I think this is one of the most beautiful conversations I have.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. There's some health information on there, right? I'll come back in a week and you'll be vegan and you can do the interviews with me.
I like it, I try my best, I try to cut down on meat. Trust me, sometimes it's not healthy.